My name is Amanda. I'm sitting at my desk, the phone in my hand still warm from the last call. It was my father, his voice hoarse and desperate as he said, "Everything is falling apart." I looked at the spreadsheet on my screen, the numbers telling a story of years of sacrifice and neglect. For a moment, I felt a pang of guilt, but then I remembered the hospital, the empty family group chat, and the cold realization that they only remembered me when they needed something. I work as a fraud prevention analyst for a tech startup in San Francisco. It's a high-stress job, but I'm good at it. I spend my days sifting through data, looking for signs of deception and financial fraud. It's ironic, really, how I could spot the lies so easily in my work but was so blind to what was happening in my own family. My father, Thomas, once owned a small bookstore. But over the years, his business struggled, and he became more and more reliant on me for financial support. My mother, Lisa, has always been a free spirit. She runs a small Etsy shop selling handmade jewelry, but she only works on it when she feels inspired, which isn't very often. And my younger sister, Emily, 22 years old, is beautiful and charming but completely irresponsible. I've always been the responsible one in the family. I've paid for my sister's college textbooks when she maxed out her credit card, covered the rent when my parents were short, and even bailed my father out of a business debt. I did it all without a second thought because I loved them. But now, I realize that love was being taken advantage of. It all came to a head a few weeks ago. I was on my way to a crucial meeting when a taxi ran a red light and crashed into the side of my car. There was a loud bang, the screeching of metal, and then everything went black. When I woke up in the hospital, the first thing I saw was my phone lighting up on the table next to me. I reached for it with my good hand, my other arm in a cast. The nurse came in and told me I was lucky to be alive. Lucky? I had a broken arm, a concussion, and a splitting headache. But that wasn't the worst part. I opened the family group chat, and there were pictures of my mother, father, and sister at a luxury beach resort. They were all smiling, wearing matching swimsuits, and holding cocktails. The caption read, "A perfect escape from the stress." I stared at the pictures, my heart sinking. They knew I was in the hospital. The emergency contact had been called, and yet here they were, enjoying themselves as if nothing had happened. For 2 days, I lay in that hospital bed, learning to move again with the help of a physical therapist. I watched them post pictures of their beach days, their spa treatments, and their fancy dinners. Meanwhile, I was alone, in pain, and completely forgotten. The nurse, a kind-hearted woman named Maria, noticed me staring at my phone. "Honey, do you have someone coming to pick you up?" she asked gently. I lied and said, "Yes, my family." But in my heart, I knew they wouldn't come. That night, the doctor told me I could be discharged the next day if the tests came back clear. I nodded, but my mind was focused on all the ways I had been supporting my family. I thought about the automatic payments I had set up for my parents' mortgage, Emily's car loan, and the utilities for the bookstore. It was like I had been the foundation of a house, and without me, everything was about to collapse. The next morning, Emily posted a video of herself laughing as she rode a jet ski. "This is what life is all about," she exclaimed. I felt a tightness in my chest. I thought about all the times I had given up my own wants and needs to help them. All the late night shifts at work to make extra money, all the weekends spent doing accounting for my father's bookstore when I could have been relaxing. Around noon, I tried calling my mother. The phone rang twice and then went to voicemail. I called my father. It was the same. And when I called Emily, she just declined the call. 30 seconds later, she sent a text to the group chat, "Ugh, Amanda is probably calling about money again." That was the moment I snapped. I opened my banking app and started making changes. I turned off all the automatic payments. I canceled the shared credit card that I had been paying for. I changed the passwords to all the accounts that I had set up for them. I wrote a note on my phone, "I'm not abandoning you. I'm just taking back my life." When Maria came in to check my blood pressure, she saw the look on my face. "Bad news?" she asked. I smiled and said, "No. For once, it's good news." Before I was discharged, the hospital administrator came in to confirm my ride. I told her I would take a ride-share service. She gave me a funny look but didn't say anything. I left the hospital in a mess. My hair was a tangle, my clothes were in a plastic bag, and I was in pain. But as I sat in the back of the car, I felt a strange sense of relief. The driver asked, "Rough day?" I looked out the window at the city skyline and said, "Actually, I think it's the start of a new, honest chapter in my life." I didn't go back to my apartment right away. I went to my parents' house. I needed my laptop, which I had left there the last time I was helping my father with the bookstore's finances. When I walked in, the house was filled with a strange silence. My mother was sitting at the kitchen table, unpacking a bag of souvenirs from the trip. Emily was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. And my father was standing by the window, looking out. They all stared at me for a moment. Then my mother spoke. "Amanda, why didn't you tell us it was this bad?" I almost laughed. "The hospital told you," I replied. My father cleared his throat. "We were on a well-deserved break, and your mother's phone was on silent." I raised an eyebrow. "For 2 whole days?" Emily rolled her eyes. "Come on, Amanda. You're fine. Stop being so dramatic." I felt a wave of anger wash over me. "You have no idea how much pain I've been in. And all you can think about is your stupid vacation." I walked over to the living room and picked up my laptop from the coffee table. My father's eyes followed me. "Before you go," he said, "did you do something to the mortgage payment?" I got an alert. I turned around slowly. Yes, I did. I closed all the automatic payments. "It's my money, and I'm done supporting you." My mother gasped. "Amanda, you can't do this. We're your family." I looked at her, my eyes cold. "Where were you when I was in the hospital? You didn't even care enough to come and see me." My father stepped forward. "Do you know what will happen if we don't pay the bills? The bookstore will close, and we'll lose the house." I crossed my arms. "I've known for a long time. That's why I'm done." Emily stood up. "You're just being selfish. You're ruining our lives." I shook my head. "No, I'm finally putting myself first. For years, I've been the one picking up the pieces. It's time for you to take responsibility." I left the house, the sound of their angry voices fading behind me. I knew I had made the right decision, but it still hurt. The next day, my phone started blowing up with missed calls and messages. My father texted me at 8:03 a.m. "Call us back now. It's serious." My mother followed with, "Your father is having a heart attack. Please, don't be so cruel." And Emily wrote, "You need to fix this mess you created." I ignored the messages until 9:20 a.m. When the doctor's office called to confirm my follow-up appointment. They asked if I had someone at home to help me. "I'm managing," I told them. It was the first honest thing I had said in a long time. When I finally called my father back, he was hysterical. "The bookstore is locked. The landlord says the rent is months overdue." I listened quietly. "That's a problem for you and the landlord to work out," I said. My mother got on the phone. "Emily's car is being towed. We can't afford to pay the insurance." I took a deep breath. I forwarded all the insurance notices to her for months. She should have taken care of it. My father came back on. "We need you to put the payments back. We can talk about this later." I closed my eyes. "No. I'm not paying your bills anymore. I'm focused on my own recovery." The line went quiet. Then my mother started sobbing. Emily started screaming. And through it all, I held my ground. Over the next few days, the family fell apart. My father's bookstore closed for good. My mother had to sell most of her jewelry, making supplies to pay off debts. And Emily had to move in with a friend and take the bus to work. My friend Jake, a software engineer who understood the concept of boundaries, came over with some food and water. He looked at the spreadsheet on my laptop and said, "Amanda, this isn't love. This is self-destruction." I told him everything that had happened in the hospital, at my parents' house, and over the phone. He listened silently, then asked, "Do you want them to suffer, or do you want them to stop using you?" It was a hard question. I didn't want them to be homeless or destitute. But I did want them to realize how much I had done for them and to start respecting me. "I want them to see me," I said. Jake nodded. "Then set boundaries. No more money, no more passwords, no more emotional blackmail while you're healing. If they apologize, make sure it's real." I took his advice to heart. I wrote down the rules: no money, no passwords, no emergency credit, and no negotiations while healing. A few weeks later, my mother sent me a message. "I don't know how to fix this, but I know we were wrong." I didn't rush to reply. I needed time to heal and to see if their words would turn into action. Looking back, I've learned so much. I've learned that family love should be based on respect and mutual support. I've learned that being responsible doesn't mean sacrificing my own well-being. And I've learned that setting boundaries is not a sign of weakness but a sign of self-love. So, if you're in a similar situation, if your family only remembers you when they need money, I want you to know that it's okay to say no. You're allowed to heal, to put yourself first, and to demand the respect you deserve.